I guess we'll put this nightmare train in motion. Hello, everybody.
Oh, sorry.
I said hello, everybody.
Hi.
Jesus. You people are... So anyway, welcome to Alan Moore's Porch. This is our 14th episode. I had to kind of clarify that. If you've never been here before, clothes are optional, but we'll leave that to you. So it is now my distinct pleasure to introduce the one and only Mr. Justin Partridge. Yay!
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yes, I am the gay on fire. Hi everybody. It's
gay on fire?
The gay on it's I tried to do a fun.
I thought you were doing like some kind of Prince.
No, I did the Katniss Everdeen.
I haven't watched.
They're fucking good.
I'm not saying they're not good.
Really
I just saying,
great.
there's 1,000 movies out there that are good and I haven't watched.
That is very true. But no, they're really good. Hi everybody. Like Matt said, welcome to the 14th episode of Alan Moore's Porch.
Whoop.
Here at stunning Geekopolis, located in Wichita Falls, your one-stop shop for geek sundries. My name's Justin Partridge. Have I said that?
I feel like I've said it once.
Have you said it? That's fine. I don't know why I decided to introduce myself twice.
You're that much of an egomaniac?
Yes, I just have to say my name at least once every 45...
Justin Partridge, ladies and gentlemen!
Once every 15 minutes or my nose will start bleeding or something. So, I know everybody, at the top of the show I wanted to talk about, I know everybody's buzzing about the new trailer that just debuted last night. And of course, I'm talking about Single Wives Club, the new Tyler Perry movie.
I can't
just
wait!
Looks
I pre-ordered my tickets, because I know the day of, they're going to be sold
Terry
out.
Crews, the chick from Reno 911, who I forget her name.
They had me in the seat as soon as they said Tyler Perry.
I'm not gonna lie, I've kind of gone on record before, but there's a critic that I really enjoy named Sam Strange who writes about Tyler Perry movies that makes me want to watch Tyler Perry movies because apparently they're bug nuts insane, like just on a whole other level of nuts. No, of course I'm talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy trailer premiered last night, turning the staunchest of naysayers into giant talking raccoon fans, which I think is really funny because this is the one movie that a lot of some pundits or whatever have been like, it's Marvel's biggest gamble. It's it's this weird group of characters in a weird setting, and like as soon as that trailer came out, everyone was like, I need Groot t-shirts now. And it just looks really, really nuts, and that's exactly what I wanted. And
just the whole attitude of the movie.
Yeah, it looks exactly like a James Gunn movie. The one thing I was worried about Iron Man 3 is that I didn't want to go see it and it not be a Shane Black movie. But this looks exactly like a James Gunn movie, which is really great. And plus, like, how hot is Andy Dwyer? Like, and Chris Pratt looks amazing. Like, that shot of him, like, it just looked like pure beefcake. It was amazing. Anyway, we'll stop talking about Chris Pratt's amazing abs for just a second. Going into our opening shout-outs to our partners in podcast. Starting off, you can find us at Alan Moore's Porch on Twitter. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is, if you go to YouTube and just search Alan Moore's Porch, you can listen to this and all other episodes that we've done in the past. I'm also working very tirelessly to try to get us on iTunes. There are a bunch of hurdles that I have to jump through, and I'm going to start trying to jump through them as quickly as possible. But you can find us there. Please subscribe, rate, comment, do whatever you need to do. Between the Panels turned 5 today. Between the Panels is 5 years old today, which congratulations to William and Dane for that. You can find them on Twitter at BTPcast. You can also find them at BetweenThePanels.com and at BetweenThePanels.com/Facebook. Also, Off Topical, Wichita Falls' other podcast, if you're into that sort of thing, I suppose.
That's their label.
Wichita Falls' other podcast.
Other podcast. We're the podcast. They're the other
The number one with a bullet, and they're the other one. They're B team. You can find them on Twitter at OffTopicalPod. You can also find them on Facebook at Facebook.com/OffTopical and at their website, OffTopical.com. Man, did I just have a stroke? Well, I think I just had a stroke. Like I smelled steak, and I can only feel half of my face.
You know,
aren't you supposed to smell stuff? Like somebody said, you smell food when you have a stroke, right? You guys aren't doctors. I was
about to say we're not doctors, and we're not over 50 years old.
What the hell I'm asking you? No, you don't. Okay, there actually is somebody in the medical profession. Well, that's a brain. Oh God!
Congratulations!
Oh my God! Congratulations! You guys are gonna see me scanners in front of you. Oh God, that's very worrisome. I'm already like super obsessed with my appendix exploding. So like anytime I have any sort of pain in my side, I'm just like, I'm just gonna die. Well, my appendix is gonna explode, and I'm just gonna die, right?
Well, it's a runoff.
So now anytime I smell like cake and there's no cake around, it's gonna be like, well, I just have a giant brain tumor the size of a tennis ball. My offerings to the snake god, though I have to mention something just before I go into this. Certain parties have told me that the intro to our show is boring, is unlistenable.
Eat an ass.
I'm going to propose a contest to our listeners. This is our first ever contest. We're just gonna see how it works, and if it doesn't, I guess we're just kind of screwed. So to the 12 people that listen to this podcast, I'm gonna propose to you, come up with another intro for us, like another segment that we can do at the very beginning of the show. You can email us at Alan Moore's Porch, all one word, at gmail.com, or send us a tweet at Alan Moore's Porch with the hashtag blow up the format. I want to see if we can come up with something user generated, and if we can't, we'll go back to the drawing board to try to make this listenable for you guys.
Now are they complaining about, like, hey, Justin Partridge, or are they complaining about everything from us turning on the microphone
before the interview? Everything before the interview.
So the banter, they don't like.
Yeah. Not too into the tit for tat that we do.
We could do
this. They hate this that we're doing right now. They just cannot stand it. Everything that I've been doing for the past 3 to 4 minutes, they really hate. I just send us an email. Send us an email with the subject line "blow up the format" at Alan Moore's Porch at gmail.com, or a tweet at Alan Moore's Porch with the hashtag "blow up the format." I want to actually see if we can get a couple of these. I'll throw some darts at the wall to see what sticks. It'll be great.
We'll literally throw shit at the wall.
Yeah,
we don't care.
Do not care. Going into our offerings to the Snake God, I've got a couple of these. I'll just go ahead and burn through them. Toy Soldiers Cold War. It's a new game that is for free on the Xbox Live Network. It's a really fun, like, easy to pick up, just kind of, it's almost like a tower defense game with like a hefty dose of first-person shooter stuff. It's actually really fun. I picked it up. I beat it in like a day and a half. It's really fun. Coming Alone by Warren Ellis. It's the collection of columns that everyone's favorite bearded drunkard, Warren Ellis, did for comic book resources that are pretty much the ramblings of a mental patient. I got the book version of it. You can actually go to comic book resources and read all of them in their original digital format, but there is the book version of these, and they're just real crazy. And like he talks about the actual like format, or like how you are supposed to script a comic book and pitch comic books, but the majority of the time is just him whiskey fueled rants, and they're great. Daredevil number 36 came out today because it's Wednesday, new comic day. It is the finale of Mark Waid's current Daredevil run until the relaunch that happens in about 2 months with another number one under the exact same creative team. But that doesn't matter. God is Dead number 7. It's a comic I've talked about on here before. It's a pretty interesting concept. All of the old gods from different pantheons have come back to the Earth to decide to rule it. This is under a brand new creative team. Good jumping on point for people who want to pick that up. And Avengers World number 3, the latest Nick Spencer 37th Avengers comic that's out there. This one is centered upon Shang-Chi, one of my favorite random B-list Avengers. Matt, what do you got for us?
I really didn't have any. I mean, I had the Guardians trailer, which I think everybody was going to talk about. I knew you were going to bring it up, but the other thing was a recognition of something that's happened in the world of pop culture from the last time we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
J-Lo. Step down again. Again.
Go fuck yourself.
Let's see if he does it for real this time.
Yeah, exactly.
Or he knocks on Jimmy's door 2 weeks from now. And
yeah,
like, hey,
I want it back. This is the point where he can take both Fallon and Seth Meyers in one fell swoop. Just do a 3-hour show
of nothing but him.
Just nothing but him. Nothing but his horrible.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, like every joke of his ends with like a cheeseburger punchline.
What?
Like there's a good majority of his jokes. Like if he's talking about Chris Christie.
What's a cheeseburger?
Like no cheeseburger. He'll just talk about a cheeseburger. He'll like the punchline of his joke will literally be, "Hey, go get some more cheeseburgers." Like that's
not funny.
Yeah, it's statistic. It's awful. That guy's awful.
I've always been a Dave Letterman fan.
Yeah, it's
and in the world of those two, yeah.
I just never found Leno funny. He just made me fly into a rage.
But no, and Jimmy apparently has picked up the gauntlet now.
I'm excited about Jimmy Fallon because I was pleasantly surprised about his late night.
His show is pretty good.
And I think Seth Meyers is going to crush it. Like Seth Meyers is really funny, period. But him just doing a wacky late night show, it sucks though because I prefer Craig Ferguson. I just think Craig Ferguson's nuts.
Yeah, and
I much prefer his show. But I'm definitely going to give both of them it's the first time I've watched Late Night in a really long time.
I never watched Late Night.
Because we are losing listeners with this. It's just more shit that they do not care about at all.
Okay.
Like,
let's steam.
Let's right to the meat. Let's screw that noise. So this the hashtag for this episode was Damn the Old Days, because with the thing that prompted Matt to submit this topic for us was the RoboCop reboot that just came out, which just looks awful. Like, I love that it's become a pleasant surprise of a hit because it's not a total train wreck, apparently.
And once again, I've got it listed here. They showed him in the
silver suit,
like 80s silver suit, and I'm like, hell yeah! And then they went tactical black, and I was like,
and he just looks like Batman. Like he looks like a cheap, like weird Batman. But apparently there is a scene. I do kind of want to see it just for the morbid curiosity. But apparently they play it very straight. And there's a scene of Joel Kinnaman, like, right after he gets woken up, and he sees himself in a mirror, and he just starts weeping. So if you've ever wanted to see RoboCop cry like a pussy for 10 minutes, you can buy a ticket to this RoboCop, apparently. Awesome. But the thing that we really started to talk about when we mentioned RoboCop was that there seems to be this weird this desire and hunger for new intellectual properties and new ideas, but yet every time one is presented into the world at large, it's always rejected, almost outright, if not over time. So I started thinking about that, and I also thought that applied to the world of video games. And the first name that came to my mind in terms of guests is it's a guy I used to work with. He's the host of Twitch TV's Dunces and Dragons, which you can watch every 2 weeks,
every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday on Twitch TV. He also live streams playing video games. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Wesley Hollingsworth. You turned on the music.
I get a music intro?
Yeah, we're streamlined. We're trying to get it in.
Trying to get on the ball.
Yeah. What do you say, buddy? Thank you very much for being on the show. We
appreciate you. It is absolutely my pleasure to be here.
So like I said before, there seems to be this huge outcry for new ideas and for new properties, but yet when one is introduced, it's always it's almost like it's rejected just because it's not what they loved before. Is that fair to say?
I think so. And I do think it's very, like you said, it's very applicable to gaming. You can look at different franchises like Call of Duty, and it's basically the same game.
There's like 36 Call of Duties at this point, right?
Basically,
easily 36.
And they basically reskin it and put it out there. And the reason why they keep doing that is because people keep buying it.
Yeah.
Fodder for the masses.
And what's really interesting is whenever a new game or a new franchise, a new IP kind of comes out and it is popular, suddenly it sells out to the dark side.
Right.
It becomes that same regurgitation of content.
Uh-huh.
So I'll take for example Assassin's Creed. when that came out.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, berserk, I've never seen a game like this. Although Prince of Persia had done something like that previously. Comics had done stuff like that before. Movies had done stuff like that before. But when it came out, everyone went haywire. Oh, how awesome Assassin's Creed is. And now it's the perennial. Every year comes out this new Assassin's Creed.
They're coming up on 18 Assassin's Creeds. Like, is it because people just keep plunking down the money for it? Like, do you think there's a desire for game designers to actually do something new or to do? Because like the main thing that I remember seeing this last year or so was that one of the best rated and reviewed games was Last of Us. And Last of Us was an original story. It was a very finite kind of cinematic experience that wasn't a sequel, and people were kind of going gaga over it. But then also like 3 months later, a new Battlefield came out, and then that became the new new two. Like, so do you think game designers are responding to this, if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
Kind of, and I think it also has to do with the fact that there's a whole industry built, whether it's movie journalism, reviews and critique, game reviews and journalism. There's this whole industry that's built around basically sucking on the teat of game developers, movie producers.
Yeah.
And so what happens is you get all of this media that's coming out basically saying, look, there's this badass, awesome new version of the same thing that you saw last year, but it's new. And it's still $60. You know? So buy it!
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be awesome.
Right.
I kind of had something, because a long time ago I wanted to develop this bit for the show, and it was basically like Who Ruined America. And I had everybody. I had everybody on there, from communists to liberals to Republicans to women to. No,
easy.
To like Mad Men type, like Don Draper ruining the world.
Yeah.
Because you take you to advertise to the masses, you quickly degenerate to the lowest common denominator.
Right.
So you get down to like, well, we want to make sure that everybody can understand our promo. So we're going to just, over the decades, it just got boiled down to this sucrose that is just completely digestible by everybody.
I actually that's one thing that's kind of interesting if you want to take a look at this past Super Bowl's commercials. The Super Bowl commercials have, for the past decade, have been funny. That has been the content.
Yeah. Funny
Commercials. And they stick in your brain. I was actually kind of interested in, and I like to see the departure that this particular year, a lot of them were sappy.
Yeah, going for the heartstrings this year.
Yeah, they were really tugging on your heartstrings, and so I thought that was interesting.
They're going for the heartstrings and pissing off right-wing conservatives with having children sing.
Okay, I gotta say this because I am one of the few that when I first saw that commercial, it was a Coca-Cola commercial, right?
Yeah. I think, was it?
Yeah, it was Coke. It was Coca-Cola singing the national anthem in every other language. But
when I first heard it, and I was like, what? It wasn't out of body or anything, but it was like, why am I mad about this? This is fucking stupid.
I should have to press 1 for English,
right?
Seeing the vitriol and venom that poured out of social networking as soon as that commercial aired was easily one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Because like it's just everybody painting themselves as going like, you don't ever need to talk to me ever again. Like, you don't ever need to respect my opinion.
My opinion is always relevant.
Because it's always gonna be racist. But no, that's an interesting point. But I find it very interesting that there's this weird movement in, and I think games is the main offender of this kind of stuff. But it's still the same is true for movies.
Well, it spreads across all pop culture.
Yeah, just like it seems to be like the tried and true example of what's worked before will work again and again and again and again, and people don't seem to be pissed off about that. Like if I gave up Call of Duty long ago,
right?
Because I don't have the patience for it, and plus I'm horrendous at first person shooters. I cannot stress enough how bad I am at first-person shooters. The only one that I've ever been kind of decent at, and I think it's because you don't have to be because Call of Duty has just become this thing where you're like, if you're not 13 and mainlining, like just shooting Mountain Dew into an infected, like Jared Leto heroin spike in your arm, then you're not ever going to be good at Call of Duty. Like BioShock, I'm actually pretty decent at because it's not so much like focused on strategy or gunplay. It's just kind of about atmosphere and the story itself. So I gave up on it very long ago, but I also have I've kind of tracked the development of a lot of them, and it just seems like you said the exact same game, just with another weird like proto 9/11 thrown into the intro,
right,
and like another, just a lot of Hans Zimmer horns, a lot of weird like this is zombie mode, Nazi zombie mode, Michael Myers zombie mode, Nazi Michael Myers mode, and I was like, I'm fine. I'm gonna play WWE 2K14 for another 6 hours and be fine. But I find that really odd that there's no, because I would imagine that certain gamers would be, if I'm plunking down $60 every like year and a half for a new game that's essentially the exact same game, I'm taken to the streets. Like I'm gonna put a brick through somebody's window because I'd be mad.
Well, and what's really interesting, and this is something it's a fairly recent development in the gaming community, with the advent of Steam being so popular for the PC. You're beginning to see games go through kind of like a green light program for Steam, which basically allows you to get a game that's independently developed, made by gamers just like everyone else, you and me, and it has allowed games that normally would never get touched because it's too big of a risk. Quote, too big of a risk. That's what the big industry gaming developers are saying. Well, this game's too risky for us because we would have to sink. We want to sink $100 million into a project. Right. And we would rather do that with a Call of Duty or a Battlefield or something that we know is going to be successful no matter what. No matter how shitty we make the game, it's still going to sell.
See, I'm not going to say that I'm above this problem at all, because I'm the guy that really wanted to play Arkham Origins when I knew it was going to be the exact same thing as Arkham City and Arkham Asylum, and I loved the piss out of it. I thought it was entertaining as hell because it's the exact same thing. I just get to punch other villains in the face. Well, that's fine with me.
I think to an extent, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It does apply. I would say, specifically citing your example, Arkham Origins was probably the most heavily critiqued game of that entire series as being probably the worst in the trilogy so far, because people were expecting more. Although I think it delivered. I've enjoyed it. Some people didn't.
I did really dig it because, like I said, my bar was also set pretty low.
I will play this no matter what because it's fucking Batman.
I'm very super easy to please when it comes to video games. I'm not gonna lie. If it's something that engages me on a narrative level, like a BioShock, or if it's something that appeals to a very reptilian-based nature in my head, like a Batman, where I just get to cruise around dispensing hard knuckle justice, that's fine. I'll play the hell out of it. But there are also you mentioned Steam, and I'd actually completely forgot about that until you mentioned it. Do you think that that's the way that certain games or certain game developing will be skewing instead of more AAA games that are like you said, getting millions of dollars sunk into it? Because for the last 6 months or so, this one video game podcast I listen to, the Indoor Kids, all they've been talking about is Gone Home or Tearaway or just games like that are very small, kind of insular, intimate, kind of simple gaming experiences. Right. Do you think that that's how games will skew in the future?
Yeah, and really with the I think a lot of people who have ideas for games, or maybe they even have the skill to make video games, to code them, to do the graphic art and all that kind of stuff, they're beginning to see that they can throw up a Kickstarter, and they have a chance of actually making their game. And I think with that kind of development, that you're going to begin to see, and I think we're already seeing that gaming is beginning to produce these new ideas. There's a wonderful game out right now called Papers, Please. I don't know if you've seen it. Now, and
I've heard of it.
I'm going to explain this to you, and some of your listeners probably already know what I'm talking about. I'm going to explain this to you, and when you first hear it, you're going to go, that sounds boring as shit. Why would I ever submit myself to that? But basically, you are inside a booth at a border patrol station, and you are looking at people who are trying to come into your country, and you have to ensure that their passports, their papers of intent, and all this stuff, that their picture, their height, all these small details are precise. And that sounds atrociously boring.
It does sound. It sounds like an MS-DOS game.
But when you play it, you're like, I could play this shit for hours. I could do this job.
Because I've seen the AV Club talk about it a lot, and like on. This pun not intended, but on paper it does sound. Roll on, Johnny. God, that was awful. I want to kick my own ass for just saying that. But no, just like at a base level, it does sound ridiculous. But apparently, it's like one of the most engrossing, innovative game experiences that a lot of people have really, really enjoyed.
And that's all that those kind of new ideas that we're beginning to see in the gaming. It's because people are now basically able to either crowdfund their project or get a independent game maker to hear them out.
Right.
Because there are more chances out there for opportunities for people to get those new ideas interjected into gaming. What I'm really interested to see is if that ever bleeds over into the film industry. Because it is, if you've ever talked with anybody who has anything to do with independent filmmaking, it's impossible to get a film funded, and to get even like a E level actor, not even a B or a C.
We're going slightly
See, I thought
list.
you said like the E network, like you get like somebody like it's Juliana Rancic in I don't know, and also you have people like Telltale that are making games that are not only super fun to play, but really simply innovative, and they're kind of narrative based,
very story driven
and character based. Because I was telling my wife whenever we were watching the mid season premiere of Walking Dead, and they kept showing a preview for season 2 of the Telltale game, and I was like, that may be one of the best episodes of Walking Dead I've ever seen. Like, those games are incredible, and now they've got like the Game of Thrones license, they've got the Borderlands license, and like they've got Back to the Future. They're making a Back to the Future game that I'm going to buy the piss out of when it comes out. But Matt, do you have? I've got a couple of more topics I'd like to go through, but
I was just thinking, because are we like the old fuddy-duddies that are sitting in a boat? It's like, well, they're not as good as they used to be. And like, they're like, get with the times, Grandpa.
Our generation, like, if you really think about it, our generation never really had it good until just now. Like, this is the only time that our TV's actually been pretty decent. Comic books are going through like kind of a second renaissance. Yeah. Movies are starting to get there.
But that's just it. Like, I think we talked about this, or I wanted to talk about this during our So Bad It's Good. But like, for the 4 movies that are awesome every year, you're gonna get 10 that are and like a 30 or 40,000 that are just shitty.
Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna
Grown Ups too. You're gonna get Grown Ups too.
This next one he's going into like
Grown Ups 3, Senior Citizen.
Venice,
is it just me, or am I the only person that whenever people critique Adam Sandler, I just feel bad for the guy?
No, I don't feel bad for him at all.
Well, because he Chevy chased himself?
Yeah.
Just like
I do not.
He woke up one day and he wasn't funny anymore.
But see, I just like every time I see another like a commercial for an Adam Sandler movie, I was like, oh, so this is his vacation this year. He's just filming his fucking vacations and just barely throwing jokes at him. He's like, hey, David Spade, come hang out with me. Hey, let's get Rob Schneider, because his crappy sitcom on FX got canceled. So
after an episode.
God, like, no, he's just filming vacations at this point. They're not even movies.
And I kind of took the same mentality. Like, if you take this kind of global economic system, and you
Wow, that's not where I thought you were going with that.
And you cut it down.
When you look at the stock market, as it is,
like the movie industry or the gaming industry,
Okay, right.
anything like that, and you boil it down to something that's tangible and you can work with it in your hands locally, local theater. I mean, we could dedicate a whole show to this, but I'm saying
I do want to do that.
Because what it is you don't do The Wizard of Oz because it's a brilliant show. It's a piece of shit show. It's not good. The lyrics are awful.
I've been in it. It is not
the
good.
The play. It's like if they had based it on the original. If they based it on the original L. Frank Baum book,
it'd be horrifying.
it would be nightmarish and great. It'd be because the Tin Woodsman would be killing hundreds of animals.
Yes, it would be glorious.
Cutting Winkies in half, it would be awesome. But
that's not a euphemism, by the way.
You do The Wizard of Oz in a theater, and instead of having like 12 Munchkins on stage, you have 40 Munchkins on stage because all their fucking parents and all their grandparents and all their cousins and uncles and aunts are going to come and buy tickets, and that's going to bring more money in. So you don't do shows like Marat Sod, or
you don't do a God of Carnage. You don't do Sweeney Todd.
You don't even go out and do Company.
Yeah, you can't.
You stick with Annie Get Your Gun.
Yeah.
You stick with Oliver.
Yeah, standards.
You stick with the ones that everybody's seen 1,000 times because that's what they're comfortable with and that's what's going to make you money.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know because I talked to you about wanting to open a theater with just ass loads of money, just have a stockpile, just so you could run maybe one season.
One bright, shining season. We talked about this a lot.
One season where you just do whatever the fucking play you want. You just pull shit, I would do Marat Sod. But that's a long story. But you do stuff that, like, you dare people to come and watch it. Like, you're like, I dare you to come
on the posters, those fuckers. No, literally, we dare your asses to walk in.
One of the first conversations we ever had about this, we were super drunk at a bar, and basically our ad campaign would just be like, what the fuck else are you gonna do? Come see some theater. And then as soon as they come in, just hate your audience. Just hate fucking musicals.
Just the most grotesque and awful plays that you could come up, like these really well done, like Tony winning plays that nobody around here gives a shit to see. But because nobody wants to see it, you'll literally lose all of your money in a season.
Just hemorrhaging.
You're just gonna blow all of it out. And I was like, that's the only way it would work. That's why you get games like 40 Battlefield Earths or whatever the fuck they're called.
Battlefield Earth.
That I would play. I would play a Battlefield Earth game.
Call of Duty.
You play as a weird, dreadlock Barry Pepper.
My brain was in the Rolodex of Scientology jokes, but it was not coming out with Battlefield Earth.
That and
Dianetics 2, Electric Boogaloo.
You get that. You get
you get your Call of Duties.
Fast and the Furious 8.
You get your Halo.
Oh, we're not getting any more of those. We're not getting any more of those.
Schmackity,
I told you I'd get him again.
We got you good, you fucker. Wait, we got you good, you fucker. Because he's in hell.
Heaven is reserved for Mormons only.
He made that stupid Husky movie where they murdered 7 Huskies. That guy's in hell. There's no way.
Disney movie. Seven Below?
7 Below, 8 Below.
8 Below.
Yeah.
She knew the name of it.
6.
Thank you.
Yeah, 6. Yeah, we're just from 1 to 10 below.
Really fucking cold. They had to change the name because the original title was really fucking cold.
Colder than a witch's titties, starring Paul Walker.
Yeah.
I've actually heard that
because the Cuba Gooding Jr. one didn't do too good.
People keep. Wait, is that the one?
See, and I was actually my brain was going to that movie, and I was like,
Snow Dogs.
That movie.
Wait, was it the? Because that I forget that's a movie.
Snow Dogs.
Snow Dogs.
What about when he was on the gay cruise?
Boat Trip. I do remember Boat Trip because I saw Boat Trip.
Remember when Cuba Gooding Jr. used to be an actor?
It was like the
Neither does America.
Neither does his lonely Oscar. But he's an Oscar. He is an Oscar. He's an Oscar-winning actor. You haven't heard of him in 8 years.
So is Cher.
Oh yeah, I always forget
So-
the shows. But no,
So
Boat
Oscars
Trip-
don't really mean
this was-
shit
This
anymore.
is a random.
Damn true.
This is a random tangent, but Boat Trip is the third movie I ever saw on DVD. And hang on, it gets better.
Literally, mine intestines.
That's like that's like those shitty chocolates that you get from the dollar store that tastes like chalk. It's just bittersweet.
It's barely covered in tinfoil. But no, it was the third movie I saw on DVD, and the only reason I remember it is because my parents rented, my stepmom rented it, brought it home, and it's the DVD menu, like the 10 seconds that loops, was topless women.
Oh.
It's two topless
What's
women.
funny is that's the part that I remember
It's
about
two.
the movie. That's the only part I remember
This
about
is
the
the only
movie.
thing I remember was the DVD menu, because we put it on and it didn't start it for a while because she was still making dinner. So there's just like 4 tits just sitting in a loop on our living room TV, and I was in my room doing something. I came out. I'm like, how? What? And then my mom was like, "Oh, just leave it. I gotta finish pork chops." And I'm like, I don't know what to do here. Like, I'm very, very confused. Like, I want to move out now.
That weirdly enough reminds me of a story.
Oh
my
God.
God.
I went to one of the first dramatic movies,
Uh-huh.
not Edward Scissorhands or Nightmare Before Christmas, not like
Two Tim Burton movies.
I'm going to the movies.
That was two Tim Burton
Anyway,
movies.
I just completely, because I do remember seeing both of those in the theater. But the super, instead, the first adult movie, one of the first adult movies I ever saw was Double Jeopardy with Ashley Judd and
Morgan Freeman.
Tommy Lee Jones. That's Kiss the Spider.
Wait, hang on. I think we're melding 4 different movies into one movie.
I'm talking about the
Because
one.
there's
Either way, Ashley Johnson.
Along Came a Spider
Along Came a
and
Spider.
Kiss the Girls are...
No.
Okay.
This is the one where she kills her husband and then he doesn't come back to life. He faked his death. And then she finds out that he's alive and goes out and kills him.
I got you now.
Double Jeopardy. Did I say that? I thought
But then never mind.
Okay, I was like,
Shut your mouth!
I was like, is this asshole deaf?
I will clear this courtroom.
Anyway,
Ashley
Interesting
Judd.
enough, you can listen to the podcast later to make sure that's what you said.
I know. I have
to the
done that.
internet.
I've done that, and I was like, I remember saying that, and then we get into the thing, and I was like, I fucking did say that.
Writing a strongly worded letter to me.
But the movie itself was really okay thriller. But it was one of the first adult movies I ever saw, and I remember watching it with my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the first few scenes is Ashley Judd getting nailed by her husband. And you
can't go hey, Granny.
And it's not. And it's
What do you think about that?
What do you think of the Judd
And it's
system?
not like you see her full frontal, just like it's not that.
That was horrifying.
It's not that. It's more like a Showtime 8:30
Gotcha,
movie.
like a
You
softcore.
you see the outline of her tit and nipple.
Yeah.
You see everything, and I'm sitting there just going, I need to get the fuck out of here, soon. And she didn't. I mean, my grandmother didn't say anything because she watched Pulp Fiction with my mother in theaters. Thinking that it she saw the trailer with Travolta doing and they thought it was a dancing movie.
So they thought they were getting flash
Glorious.
And I wanted to be a fly on the wall when they first watched that movie and got to just sit there and be like, I don't understand why everything's going backwards. I thought he was dead.
That is one hell of a TARDIS destination. If anyone ever invents a time machine, we have to go back to that moment where Eric Stoltz jabs. Oh God, that'd be amazing. So getting back on topic, I also think one thing that this is prevalent is the horror genre. I think the horror genre at this point is in a state of free fall. Because like you get a movie like, what's the number on the Paranormal Activities at this point? 5. It's like a spin-off. It's like people going like, hey, it's not yuppies that we're throwing around the room now. It's like it's people from the barrio. Like no one gives a shit, but people apparently do give a shit. They go out in droves and they see the hell out of this movie. But then you get a movie like You're Next, which is genuinely scary, very funny. And same thing with Cabin in the Woods. I thought Cabin in the Woods was a genius film. And then you get like people going like, I don't get it. It's not. No one got thrown across a room by an invisible ghost, and it doesn't have a 4 behind it. Why? What's going on?
Yeah, I think it kind of falls into what he was saying, where you get enough fervor behind one movie that you don't want to put bank. You don't want to put all your chips onto the story about a talking cactus that walks through the earth. You want to put your money on the one that
I will crowdfund the piss out of. Let's go to our Facebook. We'll
create it by the end of the night. You take an original idea.
Hashtag that shit.
Yeah, that's a goodie.
You take an original idea like Paranormal Activity was, or the Saw. The original Saw movie.
Yeah.
That was the point that I was going to make.
Like the original Saw movie was 2 dudes like me and you, and they were like, we need to make this as cheap as possible. We're going to set this entire movie in a room. This one, 10 by 12 room, that's where 98% of the action is going to happen.
We'll cut to Donnie Wahlberg every once in a while.
And we're going to shoot this thing in... When do you got to be back to work? Next Tuesday. We got 7 days to shoot this movie.
Boil some coffee. We're making a movie.
And then they just make like ass over hand cash, like just streaming out, and then everybody just throws giant piles of money at them, and they're like, just keep making what I can come up with new ideas. No, I don't care. Just keep making what you're doing.
It's kind of like this whole gauntlet. If you can come up with a new idea that's innovative enough that people actually like, and you survive that gauntlet of getting it out, and people do accept it, you live long enough to become that asshat that made the same shit year after year.
That's Matt's creative goal.
Yeah, all I want to do is make one damn thing that's good enough to get to a wide enough audience where they're like, oh my God, we love this, make more of this. And I'll just do that for the rest of my life. I'll be America's Jess Franco.
Yeah, we wants to be those like Jess Franco or Ed Wood. Just like you make one to get them in the seats and then sell out as quickly as possible. As soon as they give you something to sign, you do it. But like it seems to me like it almost like it defeats the purpose of having that one good idea. If I would even go so far as to say the first 4 Saws are actually really great movies.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever seen past Paranormal Activity 1. I don't really think I'm missing much.
I will say, though, one movie series that has literally knocked it out of the park every single time, Final Destination.
Yes. Okay, that is a franchise that will get behind.
Final Destination movies are just candy.
Final Destination is the exception to the rule because, like a Saw or Paranormal Activity, it's the same thing taken super seriously and trying to tell that same story, trying to catch that lightning in a bottle. Final Destination is just like Mousetrap of Death. It's just like 3 people sitting in a room going and then like the plate glass window will cut his face off, and then we'll have like a feint where the somebody puts some acorns in a fire and you think it's gonna blow out, but then then a bear comes out of nowhere. It's awesome.
They're one of the only movies, because I've gone to the movies my whole life. That was the only movie experience that I completely thoroughly enjoyed the entire movie experience, because everyone in the audience was that one person. Everybody in the audience was like, oh shit! And there was one dude that was like, don't do that! Don't do that! And everybody was like, yeah, don't fucking do that.
I concur with this.
That guy! Do what that guy does! And it was just a whole crowd of people going, oh God, no!
I think I probably...
Or hysterically when the one I saw was when it's the one movie where he's trying to use the jaws of life to get that chick out of her car, and he's like, she's like, can you please be more quiet? And he's like, yeah, I'll put it on silent mode. and he's like, "Bam, bam," and then the airbag deploys, and her head gets driven through a
The spike that's in
the back of the airbag, and then it just kind of deploys, and she's just sitting there, and he's like, "Ah!" And I was like, "Yeah." And the dude, and like half a second after that, the car explodes, and then barbed wire flies through the air like a cheese knife, and slices that dude in half, or in 3 pieces.
Gold, nothing but gold.
Oh my god!
I probably
laws of physics be damned.
I've probably told this story on the podcast before, but one of my favorite experiences like that is when I saw the movie Hostel. Has everybody seen Hostel? Because if not, I'm about to spoil a movie that's been out for almost 13 years.
Spoilers be damned.
Yeah, come on. Like at this point, it's on you. At the end of the movie, the hero has just gone through this horrible situation, and he sees the two girls that put him in the situation, that sold him to the torture chamber, and he's behind a car, and he's just like, oh god damn it. And then he's looking at him, and then the third guy that introduced him to the girls comes up and starts like chit-chatting with him. And you just see him behind the wheel, and he starts revving the car engine. And then at that point, like 3 or 4 people in the movie theater just start going, yes! Just revving up to it. And then, like, as soon as he hits the gas and just lunges forward, everybody explodes. It was like a Spanish soccer match. Like, if you've ever seen, like, European or, like, Spanish soccer, just everybody just erupted because he was about to murder 3 people with like a Volkswagen. That was incredible. But I feel like I said, I feel like it's a self-defeating prophecy if you hit that first home run and you're just like, yes, this is fantastic, and then somebody comes to you to say like, we want to bankroll you for another one. Like I feel like you're betraying your own creative voice if you just go like, slap a coat of paint on it and we'll say the guy was not dead all along and he had like a female sidekick, and then then we'll keep that going until everybody's dead.
See, and I was trying to think of what are some kind of like reboots, not new ideas, but reboots that have actually been better than the original. And the first thing that came to my mind when I was thinking about what the hell I was going to talk about on the show was BSG, Battlestar Galactica.
Yes, the Battlestar Galactica is...
The reboot was by far way better.
Head and shoulders better than the original one. And I like the original one because it's so shitty, but man, that reboot is just incredible. But there are also, like you said, there are some that are exceptions to the rule that actually they have a point of view and they have a fresh take on what... The one example that I always use, the Friday the 13th reboot was precisely the same movie without being the same movie. Like it's telling the story from a fresh point of view, a super stylish way to do it, and like it actually had something to say instead of just a RoboCop that's just like, oh hey, because I guarantee he not only, because he says it in the trailer, he says dead or alive you're coming with me, and apparently they have a super shitty I'll buy that for $1. And that makes me want to flip a table. Like that's just like somebody coming to my house and just pissing on my face.
Total Recall.
Yeah, the Total Recall is another one where just like it's like
let's wheel this out.
You're banking on name recognition alone, and that's like insulting to me.
Like, and this is I don't even know why this came to my brain, but like you go see these 3D movies, right? Mm-hmm. I cannot stand watching movies that you watch the 2D version. And the cinematographer just made that one
3D.
shot just for the fucking people watching 3D.
And
can't stand it.
I'm not a big fan of Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland just because it's not a good movie.
Not a good movie. It's not a good movie.
The parts in that movie
it's a good movie, but that's what you're wrong.
The parts of that movie that are over the top shitty were parts that Disney told him he had to put in.
I'll buy that. Yeah.
Because
for $1.
I'll buy that.
I did. He said the thing.
But no, like there's
$30 million in box office.
There's like him. Like there was a part where he like throws a wheel of fabric towards the camera.
Yeah,
that was Disney told him to do that.
Yes.
Disney told him to do this super stupid Spelunky dance at the end.
Dance at the end. Oh my god.
They told him he had to do
dance.
They told him he had to do that.
Christ. I've
But,
never been more pissed off in a movie theater than seeing Johnny Depp do that fucking dance at the end of that movie. I felt my entire body scowl. Like, not just my face, but my whole body contorted into a frown.
How does one penis scowl?
It's easy if you haven't any.
Hey-o! I do. I have a vagina, so it just curls. It just turns over like an Asian vagina.
I'm a grower, not a shower. But
well, that went to a dark place.
There's one.
I apologize to Asian vaginas out there that are listening to this podcast.
Racist. Now you're a racist.
Yeah, now I can't.
But no, there's one movie. There's one movie that I always. There's one movie that I always think of. You know, you said, or it's not a movie, but Battlestar Galactica. You had your 3:10 to Yuma.
Oh, reboots together, right? Yeah.
The reboot to 3:10 to Yuma was amazing.
It's really good. Really.
But like, that's not a movie that was made within the generation. That movie, the original movie, came out in like 1953.
Yeah.
Like, it was back when my dad was like 2 years old. Like, this movie is older than God. Like, nobody cares about those. Nobody even knows those actors existed.
Yeah.
Except cinephiles. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But, like, you take a movie that old and revamp it, kind of like, oh, God damn it. The Frankenstein. Kenneth Branagh's Frankenstein.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a reboot because there was no way. I mean, it was just. He did the story. He did the actual book. That and Dracula.
Yeah.
How there were those two. And mind you, outside of, I know, Kung Fu being in it.
Like I love Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I enjoyed it.
I
really enjoyed it.
I just don't like him in it.
Oh, yeah, he's awful.
I don't like Keanu Reeves in it.
Winona Ryder.
No, that whole movie, though,
is amazing.
Is out of the world amazing. Like, just.
But then you have the opposite side of that coin where, like, we got a new Spider-Man movie 3 years after Spider-Man 3. Like, they just, like, were like, hey, we had a Spider-Man movie in a couple years, right? It's like, now we have it. Let's do a Spider-Man movie.
Reboot it.
And they're
We're
like,
just going to reboot it.
And then they do, and it's really bad. But, like, people go, I don't know what I'm still trying to come back from the racist hole that I dug myself in. At this point, I just want to end the show.
Here's a test that I learned from going on Tumblr. Here's how to find out if you're a racist.
Oh, God.
Are you white?
Yes.
Congratulations, you're a racist.
Oh, no.
You're a racist. I bet you didn't know that.
I did not. I did not know that.
Okay, here's another one.
Hashtag the things you learned from
Here's another one. Are you sexist? Are you a male?
Yeah.
Congratulations, you're a sexist. You're a sexist. You discriminate and hate women. Congratulations.
Man, it's now I have to own it, right? Those Italians, right? I don't know. I can't any other.
Italian guy. Yeah, Italian guy. A week from now is going.
Providing super efficient ways of making olive oil. Damn you!
They spit out their manicotti or whatever they're eating. It's like, you bastards! That may be more racist than me just saying, oh, those Italians, right?
Yeah, no, you spit.
Manicotti's delicious.
You take your spaghetti bending butt back to Milan. It's like, was that too far? It's like, no, yeah. It's like, I didn't go too far with the racial slur. No, it's fine with the ethnic slurs.
Wesley, thank you very much for being on the show. We really appreciate you. But where can the denizens of the internet find you?
I stream every weekday, 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time at twitch.tv/drumsetjunkie. I stream mostly zombie survival.
Right.
Games.
You've been playing DayZ. That game looks amazing.
Which is another example, kind of going back to what we're talking about. It's another zombie game, but you have to eat, you have to drink.
Right.
All kinds
and there's
of
another
things.
one coming out called Dying Light that looks fucking amazing. I saw the trailer for it the other day. It looks really awesome. You're on Twitter?
Twitter.com/drumsetjunkie. Basically, you can Google Drumset Junkie, and it's me.
You have like a media empire. You're like the Chris Hardwick of Wichita Falls.
And it's Drumset Junkie with a Y, not an IE. I know it's intentionally misspelled. Fuck you, Grammar Horse.
See, I was thinking like Drumset Junkie, like you shooting up with like a Neil Peart drumstick or something like that.
Yeah.
Neil Peart for all you amazing Rush fans out there.
That'd be really sore. That's
right.
That's a big ass entry wound.
I do want to mention you do host a very funny show Dungeons and Dragons, where you play Dungeons and Dragons. With,
Terrific.
It's actually a Pathfinder.
It's
campaign.
Pathfinder.
Yeah, Pathfinder campaign with some good friends of mine. We're trying to iron out a every week kind of thing, but everybody's got changing schedules. If you've ever been a part of a role playing group,
yeah, people
you
keep
know how
telling me
goes.
that I need to play Pathfinder. It sounds really fun.
It's a blast.
Because I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons with a couple of friends of mine. We're doing 3.5 Dungeons and Dragons, which I like, but people keep telling me I need to play Pathfinder. But that you guys, that's also on Twitch TV
/ Drum Set Junkie.
All right,
and for everything, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, you can go to drumsetjunkie.com.
Awesome.
And that's just the easiest.
We didn't as per usual, we didn't have any questions for the end of this episode. So I decided I'm going to put our fate in your hands for the last 4 minutes of the show.
Quick fire!
If you guys have any questions, go ahead and we'll raise your hand, call on you. If you don't, we can just end the show and let you guys go home. But yes.
Okay, so back to the very beginning. You want something for the beginning of the show?
Yes! Our blow up the format. What do you got?
Okay, do you want a jingle?
No. I want like a segment. We want a segment that we can do that's
something
that's listenable. Something that our listeners will enjoy at the beginning of the show.
Talk about shit.
That's close the fucking bowls. We got it. Oh God! Stop drilling. You hit oil. That's like a weird keyboard cat kind of but no. What do you got for a segment?
Oh, no, I
You had a jingle?
You're going to write a jingle? What's your jingle if you had a jingle?
I don't know.
Bars fucking said hi. It's just catchy.
That's about it?
Yeah, done. We have an Emmy for songwriting now. Anybody else? Questions? Comments?
Eat your heart out, McCartney.
Other segments? No, nothing.
I have questions for both of you.
Go ahead, man. This is depressing as shit. Good look here. What do you got?
My question for both of you, I'll ask each individual. What would be the number one thing that you said for the next 5 decades? We'll use the 310 to Yuma example. For the next 5 decades, I do not want this IP touched. What would that be?
Oh Jesus, that's a goodie. Star Wars, to be totally honest with you. I think either Star Wars or Star Trek, just because I feel like those two universes have built themselves another expanded universe that you can enjoy without seeing a movie or a TV show or something like that. There's tons of comics, there's tons of novels, there's tons of audio adventures of stuff that you can listen to and actually be able to get an enjoyable experience instead of seeing a shitty Star Trek movie or another shitty Star Wars movie. Because I'm very, very worried about the new Star Wars movies. Painfully worried about the new Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think those would probably be the ones that I want to put a moratorium on. What about you, buddy?
See, I don't because I'm sitting there thinking about because as soon as you started going down this hole, I thought you were going to ask me the complete opposite, and I have ideas for movies I want to see.
Give me that one then.
Completely rebooted. Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah, I'd love to see a new Buckaroo Banzai.
And Wizards. Ralph Bakshi's Wizards. Because I want to get famous enough to where I can make what I thought Ralph Bakshi's Wizards was going to be. Because has anybody seen Ralph Bakshi's Wizards? It's a film. It's a movie that they made. No, it was.
It's the most 30-second clip.
This is the most apt description of this movie.
It was in the very early stages of when movies were being made, cartoons were being made for adults. Fritz the Cat came out. Wizards came out, Heavy Metal came out, they all kind of came out, not around the same time because Wizards was super early, but I envisioned, because my dad would told me about it, it was this dystopian world where these wizards lived on this battle-scorched earth and fought each other. And so I went in with that imagery playing in my mind, and then I watched it, and it's really clunky because it was made in 1967. It's real clunky. And it was the first time Ralph Bakshi experimented with the kind of videoscope,
the rotoscope
artwork, which it was, and there was super it was a really heavy Nazi influence. The villain was it was in a apocalyptic world, but he had pulled all the propaganda and evil from like the Socialist Party and was using that to raise golems. And as awesome as that sounds, it doesn't look.
Sounds like a hell of a picture. And
that's just it. I had that in my head. I'm playing the world's most awesome movie in my head.
You pop in the VHS.
And the first 10 minutes of it are stills. They're telling a story over like pencil drawings. And I'm like,
fuck this.
And it's not, no, they're like pictures. They're not even like moving. They're just a picture, and then it's another picture, and then another picture. And I'm like, and I was like, okay. I was like, we'll keep going. And then of course it has tits and violence because it's a Ralph Bakshi movie.
Yeah.
I want to get famous enough to where I can remake that the way I thought it was going to be.
Battling Wizards.
Battling Wizards. And I've actually come up with a movie idea in my head, and I've written down notes about a movie. And one of the goddamn taglines is going to be 98% of this cast is wizards. And by the end of it, 50% of them are going to be dead. Like, I just want a culmination of just weird, psychotic magic.
You write a check at the beginning of the movie, and you cash it by the credits.
I will cash that.
Oh my god, 98% of this cast is wizards. I want that etched on my tombstone. God damn it. It's anybody else got a closer for us? Gonna end it strong.
Regarding remakes, I know a lot of things I'm worried about is remaking classics that did well, so obviously the remake can't be as good as the original.
Right.
What's a crappy movie you would actually like to see remade?
Oh man, that's another goodie. Oh Jesus.
Well, because I think that kind of falls into the category of what movie either got super low funded. Because like that's what because I mean you hate to lump the two in together with good movie and a hell of a big budget.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, like, if you've got little budget, you're gonna notice. You're gonna see the budget cuts in the movie.
I got one for you. I would actually like to see a new version of The Spirit, Will Eisner's The Spirit, that wasn't horrifically misogynist and fun. Because that movie's dour as hell, and I remember I still enjoy it because it's insane, and it's like Frank Miller is just really, really going off his head towards his deathbed. But I'd like to. That would be one that, because it's not good, but I'd really like to see a new version of The Spirits. I'm trying to think of something else that's.
I mean, I think a lot of people's automatic knee-jerk reaction response would be Episode 1 of Star Wars.
Let's just throw a damn blanket over the whole set.
Yeah, all the prequels.
First, second, third. Because I talked to somebody and I was like, what if they went back and instead of making the Ewoks, what if instead of Ewoks they had just lizard people?
Yeah, we've come up with a theory that every movie can be made better with lizard people.
Lizard people. I want to see because if you took out all those little teddy bears and put in like 6-foot lizard people,
not even lizard people, but like Sleestaks.
But no,
if you put in Sleestaks from Land of the Lost, I'd be into it.
I want, and this is what I want. I want when Leia wrecks off her cyclone, she's like, oh. And then you just see her laying on the ground, and then you just see a forked tongue just like come up, snake under her head, and she goes, "What the fuck?"
And then you look, and there's a giant.
And then there's like a lizard man, and he's just like.
Now hang on. The question. This is a question I've never asked.
Your head, man.
The weird like raptor moves that he makes.
I don't even want to know what kind of porn you look at.
This is a. It's pretty. It's horrific.
That real sick shit that can't send through the mail.
Here's a question I've never asked you about these lizard people. Would they be wearing clothes and using weapons?
Weapons, yes. Clothes, like caveman.
See, I was like a loincloth, like a lizard people,
like a serape or whatever, just barely covering it up. Like they kill like Ewoks.
And they skin them.
And they skin them and then wear their clothes as their own.
Instantly entertaining.
I also had the same thought when they were talking about the fact that in the early stages of the Phantom Menace, Tupac was approached.
To play a Jedi.
Tupac was approached to play it, and guess who he was approached to play?
Mace Windu?
Mace Windu, the only black guy.
The only black guy in the universe.
Other
than
he died, and then Lando Calrissian. He left the party. Then the other cool black guy.
It's like black people are Highlanders in the Star Wars universe. As soon as one dies, another ascends.
I sat there and I was like, "What?" I was like, "How awesome would it have been?"
That just dug me out of the racist hole.
And I was like, "What if Tupac had been Mace Windu?" And instead, like, he'd have gotten his connections, he'd have made good on some promises, and we would have, instead of Boss Nass, we would have had Biggie Smalls.
Or like Ghostface Killer.
And then like all the people, and then like you would have like all of the whatever the Gungans, I don't remember the flabby
racial stereotypes.
What? How would do instead of doing that, we take literally the
hard pipe hitting.
We take the most dangerous element of like
hip hop culture.
We take like Cypress Hill, we take the NWA, and we just merge them together and throw them on the screen.
Give them laser guns.
And like literally, and like in the fight, like at the very end when they're fighting the droids, just ripping droids' heads off. It would be amazing.
Instantly better movie. But every movie can be made better with dangerous rappers and lizard people. If you take away one thing from this podcast, let it be that.
Let it be that.
Guys, I'd like to thank Wesley for being our guest tonight. I'd like to thank you lovely people for actually being here. This is amazing. It's always a treat to see the people that sit in the audience. You guys can find us on Twitter at Alan Moore's Porch, all one word. You can also find us on YouTube at our YouTube channel. You can subscribe, listen to this episode and all the episodes we've done in the past here at beautiful Geekopolis. Just go to YouTube and search Alan Moore's Porch. Once again, I'm working tirelessly to get us on iTunes so you can subscribe and actually not have to open a stupid window to listen to our shitty ramblings. Guys, thank you, Wesley, once again. For Matt and myself, good night and good luck. Let me do it. Stupid. Yay!
Sunday, Bloody Sunday? What is this playing?
It's Bomber's Bay by Echo and the Bunny Buck. Jesus Christ. Seriously, guys, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it.